Hey YouTube, everybody. This is a spontaneous video. I actually hadn't planned on making it today, but yeah, so I have not posted any new videos in the past week. I've been pretty busy with just work and other things, so I haven't made any, but there's more upcoming soon. So this video is another homebrew. Okay, so I'll just cut right to it. I brewed a Hella's lager. Never made one before. I never made a lager in my life. I've made a steam beer, which is a lager that's fermented at warmer temperatures, uses special yeast, but I've never made a true lager before. Learned some valuable lessons too. So I used malt extract again because I have my all grain set up here. It's in storage, but this recipe used 6 pounds of liquid malt, a pound of Vienna to give a little bit of maltiness to it, light maltiness, and then I was going to use carafoam to give it some body and head retention. In fact, let me look that up real quick here because there's something different about that malt. I'm trying to remember what it was. Let's see. Increases the body too. Okay. Well, the homebrew shop I went to, they didn't carry carafoam, so I used carapils malt, which is similar. I used to use that malt all the time, and it increases head retention and foam. Well, same thing. It can increase body. They're usually two different manufacturers for those. But anyway, I only used 8 ounces, not very much. I usually don't need very much of that stuff. And then I used Tettnanger hops all the way around. I used an ounce at 60 and an ounce at 5. And then I used a new yeast strain, Wyeast 2487. That's Hella bock, I think is what they call it, Hella bock. So I bought the strain a while back and I decided to finally use it. Here's some lessons I learned about brewing lagers. I only pitch the usual amount I do for an ale. I come to find that you need even more than that. I read several people mention that minimum double the quantity, but really probably 3 to 4 times the amount is needed. So if I need 200 billion cells for a 5-gallon batch in ale, you need about 400. I didn't know that. I way underpitched. It took 5 days to get bubbling going. And when I looked into it, it's like, yeah, well, I underpitched and it's colonizing, it's building up strength. But several guys said, yeah, when you pitch that low, it'll work, but it's going to take a lot longer. That is the slowest fermentation I've ever had. 5 days to see any activity. But it worked. So it went in the fermenter December 21st, I think is what I put down here, and I just caked it today, so it's exactly a month. I did just over 3 weeks, about 3.5 weeks of lagering. I did it in the basement, but the temperatures down there bounced around a little bit, but mostly stayed at, say, the low to mid 50s, which is fine. That's nothing wrong with that. And then I brought up to my room where it's about 70, 72 degrees Fahrenheit, and I gave it a diacetyl rest for about 3 days to allow the yeast to warm up a little bit, clean up after itself, and to remove any possible diacetyl buttery flavors. Normally I don't even do that, but with the lager I read you really need to do that, and lagers just take forever to ferment anyway. So I was going to give it up to 6 weeks, but I finally go, you know, I'm going to give it maximum 4. Okay, now the specifics, a little more details. It was very low gravity, but I didn't care about that. I started out at 1.035 and it finished off at 1.009. It may have gotten a tiny bit lower, but it has 3.4% alcohol. I don't care really. I'm fine with 3%. I'm okay with 5%. I don't need 20% alcohol. As long as it has a couple points, I'm happy. Lager, or Hellas, means bright and clear in German. And that's what Hella's lager is. Should be very bright. And lager just means, you know, ferments lager, you set cool with temperature. So this beer is very green right now. Here's what it looks like. As you can see, it's not bright and clear. But that's because it's been in the keg less than a half hour as I make this video. It's kind of a, how would I describe this color? A little bit of a dark burnt orange, I suppose. Some people might say amber, or copper. Thin head. When I poured it, it had a little bit more than that, but that's okay. Actually, that 1/8 of an inch is plenty. Good enough for me. So yeah, it's not transparent, it's not bright, none of those things. It will be over time. After probably a week or so in the keg, it'll brighten up a little bit. I did not filter it. I never filter my beer. I just leave the yeast in there because I don't care. So even if it doesn't totally clear up, I'm okay with that. You know, I've had some of my beers I've made. I mean, if they stay in the keg, you know, in refrigeration temperatures for a few weeks, yeah, they'll clear up. See, I don't do cold crashing because I don't have a refrigerator for that stuff. I don't have any set to do that. I've only had that luxury once in my life, and I'll get it again eventually. Okay, enough talk. Slight fruitiness to it. That's my own gain right now. There's pink foam on my nose. Let's see here. I want to look up that yeast real quick. Here we go. Just a quick background on the yeast. Direct from Austrian Alps, produces a rich, full-bodied malty beer with complex flavor, attenuates well with plenty of malt and other characters. Fermented with a strain, well, okay. And it says you should do diacetyl rest at the end of the fermentation, so that's what I did. And it says here, a couple interesting things. Medium flocculation, so it's going to be somewhat cloudy unless you filter it or cold crash. Temperature range, I found the perfect range, 40 to 56. Mine average, I think maybe, I'm trying to remember, 55, maybe a little bit lower. So, and then it gives up to 12% alcohol, up to, but nobody knows it that high. So I should have mentioned that earlier, all those other details. So let's go ahead and try it out, see what it's like for being very green. Tickle of fruit, just a tease. Tickle of sweet. A little bit of that malty character, very light. This is visuals aside, it's actually pretty clean tasting. I'm impressed. Goes in my mouth, feels very light body, very light. Just coats my mouth, but sticks a little bit more on my tongue, and just starts evaporating, fading away. It doesn't roll off, doesn't go anywhere else, just kind of stays there and fades away. All the flavors are pretty light right now, but I intentionally picked a simple recipe because I wanted to know what the yeast tasted like. It's not uncommon for some German or Belgian beers to be simple on the malt because they want the flavor of the yeast to shine. Not bad for a start. The flavors will improve with age as it conditions, so don't really have anything else to say on this one. Just gonna keep going for a while, let it condition, and sample it along the way. May make another video at some point. So this is my Hella's Lager. My first ever lager. Learned some valuable lessons brewing it. Yeah, it's not bright and clear, but give it time. Okay, well, that's all I have for now. I'm going to get back to drinking my beer and working on some videos. Cheers.